What's going on, everybody? Kwaku here, back with another video. Today I wanted to digress a little bit. It is now March, almost the end of March, and as for the insider builds of Windows in the dev channel, a lot of changes have happened since the beginning of the year, or a few changes have really happened since the beginning of the year, not too many. But I wanted to do this video again, kind of like a Windows 11 quarterly update to tell you guys everything that has gone down in the dev channel, specifically so far in Windows 11. So the first one here on my list is we have gotten, since essentially the last time I made a video like this, we have gotten folders in Start. Basically what that means is that when you click on your Start menu, or if whatever you want to call it nowadays, Start Launcher, whatever you want, now you are able to, under those pinned items that you have, you are now able to drag items into each other and create folders, which I don't know why we weren't able to do that in the beginning, but once again, that'll be a running trend a lot of the time for this video. Is I don't know why we didn't have that in the beginning, but we're able to do that now, and that's one of those new things that is inside Windows 11. Another thing here is we actually got the return of drag and drop in the taskbar as well. You know, a lot of people, bloggers, me, and a bunch of other people, YouTube people out there, were complaining about this feature, and a lot of you all were complaining about why Microsoft took this out. Why they didn't think it was a good idea to include it in the redesigned taskbar that they created from scratch for Windows 11. But they brought it back in the dev channel, and I have a good feeling that it's going to stay, and it's going to actually get slowly pushed into beta and then release preview and then to the mainstream users. So I have a good feeling that that's going to come in, and that will kind of, those power users that are just in their companies that might eventually switch to Windows 11, that will really help them a lot. Having that functionality still there by the time it gets to them. Another thing here is Focus is now in your calendar notifications. So for those of you who don't know, Focus Assist, Do Not Disturb / Focus Assist, basically it's that Pomodoro timer in a way, that basically you can set a timer for how often, like you can set like a 30-minute timer, and then it will time you and tell you, and it'll Do Not Disturb mode will turn on that. You won't get notifications, you won't get anything. It'll just help you focus on the task you have at hand. And then after that 30 minutes is over, it'll be like you want to take a break for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever the amount you set. And that way you take a break and then you come back in another 30 minutes. And that's that idea of just constantly being able to work, but also being able to know when to take breaks. And that's implemented in Windows 11 right now. And at first it was only in the clock app, but now it's also in your little notification action center area. If you just click that button right there, where the calendar is, or the time is, date and time, you'll see it right at the bottom if you're on the latest dev channel builds. Another thing here is direct storage, similar to Xbox. So Xbox uses something called the Xbox Velocity architecture, and they also have direct storage. Direct storage just speeds up games, loading speeds and stuff if you're using M.2 storage, if you're using NVMe storage. Like the Xbox Series S, X, and PS5s, and even my PC that runs it too, runs, you know, M.2 storage. And so for any games that are loaded on that, Windows 11 and eventually also Windows 10 will utilize direct storage to basically just speed up the load times of games, because like games like Elden Ring and things like that, they take forever to load. And so you won't have to deal with that nearly as bad. Now, another thing here is we also are getting a lot of improved gestures in just the OS as a whole, and I'll go back to that point in just a second because I have a bigger idea with that. I'll say this one last thing first for major things that have come, and it's not too many, as I said. Ads may appear in search. They've already been testing ads, A and B testing ads in the File Explorer, which is very weird. Like click here to download this thing. I remember hearing it on Windows Weekly. I haven't personally seen it, or maybe haven't noticed it. And that's a good thing for me, but ads may be appearing in the OS more often, as Microsoft's board maybe is trying to think of ways to monetize Windows, because how they're able to monetize Office and this and that with subscriptions. Windows, as you know, you only buy a Windows PC with Windows on it for the most part. Average people, you don't build a computer most of the time, and so other than that first transaction, there's no way Microsoft is making any other transactions from you, because the store is pretty much a failure for them in terms of making consistent money and income, recurring income from them. So you may see ads in search, of course, when that time comes, at least for me, and it gets annoying, I'll make a video on that. But what I wanted to get back to was the gestures on touch devices, and even just like trackpads. So Microsoft has been improving gestures in like every build in Windows so far. I even did a podcast episode and I talked about it, and I might include that clip from it, or maybe I'll include it as a separate video. But point is, like, they're allowing you now to pretty much swipe up from the bottom middle to open up the start menu. They're allowing you to swipe in from the right to open up your action center, your notification center, swipe in from the left to get your widgets if you have that access. They're allowing you to do like 3 swipes from the middle up to do certain things, and change tasks and stuff with 3 swipes like in the middle to different directions. It's getting pretty interesting and pretty spicy in my opinion, just because like when I think of gesture support, that is now like more gestures are now coming into Windows for tablets and things like that. The first thing that it makes me think of is actually the Surface Neo. The Surface Neo obviously was a device a little bigger than the Surface Duo that is over there by my window, and essentially it was that 8-inch, 2 8-inch screens or 8.1-inch screens, and you could just fold it like a Surface Duo, fold it like this Z Fold, and it was just great looking. I don't know how well it would work in practicality, but it was great working. It was supposed to come with Windows 10X, which obviously never happened. It ended up coming out Windows 11, and the device never came out after all. Microsoft has actually never said that they're killing it completely. So it may come, it may not come, who knows at this point. Someone else might make something similar to it, probably Samsung at this rate. But in general, that device, when I'm thinking about these gestures, it kind of makes me remind of, if this is a full-fledged tablet style device that folds, all these gestures kind of help use that kind of device. And it seems like every build that's come out in the dev channel so far, almost every build, they've started adding more and more and more gestures for tablets. And I know there are 2-in-1 PCs out there and things like that, but a device that's dedicated tablet, not a Surface Pro, a device that's supposed to just be a tablet with legitimately a keyboard that you may or may not ever use, that could be something amazing, like coming later on down the road. I have a good feeling that in the next couple of years we may see something, maybe less so when the chip shortage like dies down a little bit. We might see a Surface Neo type device come out, whether from Microsoft or for some OEM partner. So I have a good feeling that might come. So in general, I just wanted to digress and let you guys know, it's, as of right now, it is March 31st, 2022, and I haven't done one of these kind of videos in a while. I wanted to get that out there, talk about what's come to Windows 11 in the dev channel lately since the last time I did that. They've also obviously done a lot of other things, but these are the major things that I made build videos on to show you guys these new features. They've done some simple layout stuff. They've updated the run dialogues for Win32 applications to make a more fluent design looking and making things more cohesive. They've updated icons, they've updated Notepad, they've updated Microsoft Paint, whether you like it or not. They've updated a lot of applications and updated them to the Windows 11, WinUI design language, and it's starting to look a lot better. It's still a little bleak, but it's starting to look a lot better. So we'll hope for more changes to come. I know not everyone likes changes, but if we don't get changes, you just get nothing, and people will complain if there's nothing coming from them. So what can you do? My name is Kwaku, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Also stay tuned. Well, not stay tuned, but there's a Discord out there for next Windows. It's in the description box below, as well as a Patreon. You don't need to back me on Patreon, but if you want to get access to some of the tutorial videos that I do that were taken down on YouTube, through YouTube not wanting it on there, you can just go there. It's free. You can just go check it out, and you can click on the video, and it's up there on Patreon, private hosting instead of YouTube hosting. So there you go. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Enjoy your week.